Woo! My girl Karen Huger came out for part 3. Honestly, I thought it didn't get good till she came out. But yeah, part 3 reunion is done. And yeah. Fuck Wendy. Fuck.
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right. Welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I am Asia Esterak. All right. The Real Housewives of Potomac Season 10 Reunion Part 3 concludes. Okay, so we pick up right where we left off with Monique playing this recording of somebody whose name we couldn't learn or hear their audio. But basically whoever's on this audio recording is telling Monique that they were informed by, I guess, Stacy that Monique was filming with her children and somehow this got back to Chris. I was a little confused on that, but basically someone told Chris that Monique was filming with her children. And this was all prior to Monique even getting to the group. I don't know. It was all weird. Everybody seemed genuinely shocked. Here's what was wild. So while they're playing it, it's just silent. It's just everyone's reaction. I am dying to know who was on that recording. If you know, or if you think you know, or if you allegedly know, put it in the comments. I'm curious. So basically Monique is like, why would this person say this? Blah, blah, blah. Stacy is denying it. Stacy is, and this is what's funny. So here's the thing. Stacy got some diehard fans that will defend her, whatever. Stacy's a liar. Period. And I'm so fucking tired of hearing because everyone lies. We get it. Everybody lies. This bitch lies. She sat here on this part 3 here and played in everyone's face. I don't know who was on the recording. And your girl Wendy, who dies on hills for you, even was just like the writing is on the wall. What you say? I'm watching it play out in real time. Like, Stacy, I don't know what was said, but it's very obvious you were lying. I could tell you were lying. You know, I could tell you were lying because your explanation for trying, first of all, you lied and said that you weren't in contact with Chris, but then Monique points out the fact that you had mentioned that you and him were texting. It's like there was some other shit that was mentioned, and it's just like, here's my thing. I think the problem is, Stacy, is that everyone lies, yes. I wish they would stop saying lying. The problem is you don't take accountability for your lies. That's the real problem. Because yes, everyone lies. But this to me was creepy because she's like, basically they're accusing her of telling Chris that Monique was filming with her kids, along with talking about him when she had spilled her guts to everybody her first day of shooting or whatever day it was. But Stacy's like, instead of just going, no, I didn't say that. Why would I say that? I talked to my husband. We talk everything was, why would I? Whenever someone is full of shit and lying and they don't just give you a straight answer, if you ask them, why would I? Well, why wouldn't you? Why not? Why wouldn't you not tell him that shit? Because you fucking did. And Stacy clearly will never own it. And it's funny because she literally was like, she wasn't owning it. And this is the other thing. So as I'm watching, because I watched this twice, Stacy is Phaedra Parks, y'all. Stacy is the Phaedra Parks of lying on Potomac. Because we all know Phaedra never owned shit on the show. Probably to this day. She would give her little Southern Belle lawyer response, and you would just have to live with it. That's Stacy. Stacy is going to stick to that lie. She's going to stick to the deflect. That's just who she is. I think they all should quit getting mad about it and move on, and just take everything that she does with a grain of salt. Whatever. I think she's entertaining as hell, but I think that quality is creepy because I would love to know who was on that recording. Because it's just funny how everyone was just looking at her like, this bitch is lying. And Kay jumps in and explains why another reason why she was so upset with Stacy because she was talking to Cookie. But here's my thing. I'm gonna play devil's advocate and I love Kay, but like it seems like there were quite a few different ears or mouths that could reach Chris Samuel's ears. Cause isn't Cookie like cool with him too? And Cookie seemed like she was trying to be on the show. I'm just saying. But either way, Stacey, obviously I can't prove that you said it, but your responses, your mannerisms, your facial expressions, it just seems like you're not being truthful. And it's weird that you're just kind of sticking to it because the why would I when I'm going through a divorce and my why would I hurt your because you was probably talking shit. Probably didn't even realize that he was gonna react the way that he did. Girl, I'm sorry, I was talking. I said some dumbass shit. Like, but whatever. That's what makes Stacey Stacey. That's what makes her entertaining on this show. It'll probably be a running theme for as long as the show goes on and as long as she's on it. But I think, and I can't even end it with no harm, no foul because whatever happened, it did affect someone's family because Chris Samuels is a big petty bear. So yeah. But anyway, interesting opening. And Stacey, you a trip, boy. Stacey, you a trip, girl. One thing I do want to add about the Stacey thing, and I want to add this to the growth of Monique. Monique never got loud with her, never cursed at her. And she even said to her, she's like, so if it isn't you, then and if this person why why are the streets have all this venom for you? Why are they making stuff up saying you said it if you didn't say it? I think Monique handled herself very well with Stacey. That type of shit would have got me out my face because I would have been annoyed because I'm like, bitch, you're playing in my face and I'm gonna fucking go Tasmanian devil in here. Like, stop playing with me. But it just shows the growth of Monique. So shout out to Monique. Stacey, come on. Come on, Stacey. Anyway, so we get into the Colorado trip, which I'm glad they didn't spend a whole lot of time on it because I'm fucking exhausted and over it. Um, it's interesting though. So this actually gave a bit of credence to what the internet was saying about production setting up um Angel a little bit. Now, I don't think they fully set her up, but I think this situation absolutely sounded like it might have been I don't know if it was intentional, but somebody dropped the ball. So it's revealed because Andy's like, why did you get so lost? Because of course they showed the package of them in Colorado, the house, not enough water, Angel, Kay, and Tia getting lost. So Angel reveals that someone on production had dropped a pin where the place was at. And I guess it was the wrong location. That's why on the show when they drove out up that mountain and it was like absolutely nothing there. And Andy throws out the fact that they've never ended a show at a gas station. Um, it's funny. I didn't know what to expect with Angel at this reunion. I actually thought she was rather quiet, considering how she was on the season. But I got to give it to her. She handled herself very well. She wasn't nasty. She knows she dropped the ball. And again, I've had to apologize to your ass twice now, but I gave her a lot of shit. But it seems like the production did fuck up a little bit. They probably did in other areas too. But I think, in the grand scheme, it's like I hate that it did it did damage to your business, which wasn't even open yet, which is crazy to me. My dumb ass. I guess I wasn't paying attention. I'm like, oh, I thought it was already open. And then I don't agree with people going on her business website and writing bad reviews. Like, you're basing that shit off a TV show. Like, you haven't even had the experience. So we really don't know. But I don't know. I am so conflicted about Angel doing another season because part of me is like, maybe we should give her another chance, but then part of me is like, nah, because it's gonna be the same weird. So the Karen Huger comes out. I loved it. Karen looked great. Karen looks good. Karen looks healthy. She looks happy. She was ready. Homie was ready. They all comment on her coming out. Andy asked her if she watched the season. She did. Um, he asked where she stands with Stacy. I fell the fuck out. Why was Karen looking? Stacy sitting right next to her, and she's like looking over. And Stacy's like, "Do you not see me? Like I'm right here." That shit was hilarious. Um, and it's funny because Karen was like, "Well, you're a liar. You lie." See, the first season you lied about that guy being your boyfriend, and now you're lying and saying you're dating Chris Samuels. Are you not dating Chris Samuels? And Stacy's like, no. Um, and it was funny because Karen's like, okay, well, I don't mind you as long as you don't lie. I thought that was hilarious, hilarious. I mean, there's a running theme with Stacy, like a running theme. Um, but it was nice to see Karen, even like when Andy addresses her and Wendy wasn't nasty. You know what's funny? I gotta point something out. Wendy, outside of when she snapped on Ashley, which I would have snapped on Ashley's fucking ass too, but like Wendy had great energy this whole reunion. Is it me? I thought it was great. Some people were saying it was fake or whatever. I didn't get that from her. I didn't get that from her at all. Um, but anyway, I feel like when Karen came out, obviously the whole tone changed. And for me personally, it's like this is why she's on this show. This is why she has the position that she has on this show. The position, not grand dame, but you know what I mean. Like she's an OG. You know what I mean? Just like Nene is to the Housewives or Atlanta, just how Vicky is to OC. It was nice to see Karen. I love seeing Karen. So anyway, after we get through the introduction, she actually acknowledges Angel. It was funny. She was like, I wish I could have called her and told her to tell some of these girls to shut the fuck up. That was kind of funny. But so Andy asked her, how has sobriety been? And she loves it. She knows it's tough, but she loves it. And she talks about how she is a woman living in recovery. She talked about it on her special as well. Um, so Andy brings up the sit down that him and Karen had. And he's like, you seem to have uh you were reluctant to take accountability for for calling yourself an alcoholic. Um, and she says, yeah. She says she finds it embarrassing, but it's a choice. She's a woman living in recovery and she's recovering from it all. Um, Now when I did my video, I caught a little flack because people were like, I don't think she took accountability. Here's what's wild. I do think she did. I think she did. I think she did it in the Karen Huger kind of way. But I knew it's funny because when I watched that, I was like, she's embarrassed to be called an alcoholic. I know this because I used to be embarrassed to call myself an alcoholic. In fact, when I quit cold turkey, I just was like, yeah, I just drank too much. It took me a minute to be like, no, I was a fucking alcoholic. I was just in denial, delusion, and didn't realize how bad it was until you get on the other side and you're like, God damn, I was a fucking drunk. Um, she's not there yet. Obviously, I'm there, but I understood her in that moment. That's why for me, I felt like she did take accountability just because she didn't do it the way she did it, the way all of us wanted her to do it. She did it. And as somebody who went through an addiction, I love when somebody sees the other side. So you know what? If Karen don't want to call herself an alcoholic because it's embarrassing to her, she'd rather refer to herself as a woman living in recovery. As long as she ain't drinking and driving and treating herself right, more kudos, more power to her. I'll say this though, for Karen Huger, because at one point Monique starts crying and says, to know Karen is to know the wall, and she always has a wall up. So for her to be vulnerable now about herself, her sobriety, and Monique mentions how her walls went down after her parents passing. It's true. Karen is different. She's not as grand damish as she was. She still has her moments because she definitely did on this little third part here. But my whole point of my big old rant is I understand where Karen's coming from. Karen's embarrassed. She don't like saying the word alcoholic. She knows she's an alcoholic. She knows she's a fucking alcoholic. She just don't like saying it. And eventually she'll get to the point where she just says it, Because after a while, once you own your addiction fully, nothing can fuck with you. Not even the word alcoholic. So in this segment, they're showing Karen the ladies' reactions to last year because he talks about, all these ladies said that you were in denial and delusional. So he shows the clip from last year and she watches it. And then he brings up the clip of Ashley talking about the dude that she met that said that Karen would day drink at the restaurant where he worked. So Karen's like, that's true. I love that she owned that. Because it's crazy? Me and Karen Huger got a lot in common. I used to go to the Green Turtle over here by my house and fucking day drink as well. I used to sit my black ass in a fucking booth with my earbuds in and I would watch YouTube videos and drink Blue Moon and order food that I wouldn't even fucking eat. I would eat it later when I got home and get fucking plastered. Just fucking miserable. I love that she admitted that. And the guy said that she was in there every day. Yeah, that's the sign of somebody that's unhappy. That is the sign of unhappiness. Um, I love that she admitted that. So then they bring up what Wendy said, because Wendy basically said the same thing. She ran into somebody and they said that she used to day drink at this restaurant where I worked. Something I'm paraphrasing. So Karen's like, well, that's a lie. Wendy's just talking. She don't like Wendy. She got an issue with Wendy, and I don't quite understand it. So of course, Andy gets into it. They and basically ask, what's up with y'all not like, well, really, Karen, why don't you like Wendy? Like, what's going on? Because it goes back to her thanking everybody but Wendy. Well, not everybody, but like Wendy invited you to the White House with her. I'm thanking somebody that invited me. Well, that was when people that were awesome that were still there. But anyway, I digress. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they were awesome, but other than the current administration. Anyway, um, but so they show a clip of Wendy and Karen arguing, and Karen refers to Wendy's mother as a witch. That for Wendy was a point of contention. That would piss me off too. And that went into the whole narrative of what old girl Neko was saying, which I don't think Neko was wrong though. But that's for another video at another time. But so they are in real time back on the reunion and they're going back and forth. And Wendy's like, you're fake with me. Like I told you that I didn't like what you said about my mom. So then Karen in all her Karen Hugerness, you know what, you're right. I'm sorry. Because I actually do like your mom. I particularly love when she told you to shut the fuck up this season. So they're all like, oh my God. And Giselle's like, really? Like, come on. They don't resolve shit. This moved. How annoying. But Wendy and Karen don't resolve anything. They both feel that they've betrayed each other, Andy's words, and that's that. Maybe one day we'll get to it. The reality is, and it was revealed, Karen, you feel betrayed by Wendy because she went and befriended Stacy. I guess the real question is, it seems like it from what I gathered out of this, and I'm gonna have to go back and watch the last season again, but it just seems like Karen got an issue with Stacy a little bit. Karen is a friend, she doesn't like when her friends jump friends or or play that game with her. She's one of those where you got to come to me first type of deal. So I think that's where the betray. Ooh, sorry, I don't think that's where the betrayedness comes in with Wendy. Very ridiculous, but who knows? Who knows? So anyway, we get to the Wendy package talking about all the allegations, what she's going through legally. Um this whole part was interesting. Wendy tells this long, drawn out, detailed story, which I wish she had just shut up, talking about when they got home from the vacation that they said they were robbed during, and how they discovered that they were robbed. Just the whole details of it. And they're all it's just anyway, at one point, Karen is like, I just wish you would stop talking. I feel like you have said way too much. And remember, they will use these words against you. I care about your family, your children. But like, I think somebody was trying to call me, or no, I don't know. Were they? Who knows? But my phone just did something weird. But she's right. Like Wendy's telling this story about when they got home from vacation and her daughter went into the room and the dog she thought had made a mess. And it's just, baby, I think we were robbed. It's just so Wendy doing that Gemini shit. I know because I'm a Gemini because we think we'd be knowing everything. She does the whole my legal team knows, rest assured, we're fine. Wendy, but you know she's giving you real advice though. Now, Wendy says everything that I'm saying has already been publicly documented. I get all of that, but I'm just like, I'm with Karen. You need to be quiet. I think you're saying too much. I think you should do no more interviews. Please don't incriminate yourself because this shit is scary. Um, I don't know. It just something about her telling that story coming back from vacation. I was just sitting here on this couch, like, oh my God. Like, what's the emoji? I just was like, oh, Wendy, stop it. Andy gives Wendy a really great compliment, but um it's funny because it's like I felt like he low key was scolding her a little bit, not in a mean way at all, but just like I'm not scolding. Maybe scolding is a strong word, but you could tell he was just disappointed. I mean, we as the audience were disappointed. I was more in shock, and I wasn't even a Wendy fan at this point, but I was just like, "What? Not her." But he was just like, "You're." He basically was just, you know, you're a housewife that I've always championed. Um, Basically, you could tell he loves him some Wendy, and he's like, you know, I was shocked just as much as the audience was over everything that has happened, and you know, we just want you to be okay. Um, you can tell that this group of ladies they love each other. They fight like cats and dogs, but they do love each other. Not including the super new people because there's no way for them to connect like that. But like even with Ashley and Wendy at the end, for Ashley for you to admit that you know your messiness is borderline like not fucking okay. The fact that you're okay, you're admitting that. Thank you. You know you've been a little shitty. She apologized to Wendy because that shit she said after all the shit came out was not cute. That was not nice. It was not nice. She never said shit about all your shit at all. Well, I don't think she was there for all of that. I think that was like right before she came. But either way, I like the end of this reunion. It was good. I think it's a good group. I don't know. I'm on the fence about Angel coming back, but I do think everybody should come back. I'll say this. I love Kay. I don't know if Kay should come back. And I love me some Kay. I think Kay, I don't know. Cause I can't do another season of her being angry, arguing with everybody. That I'm not dealing with. But and I worry sometimes about younger people on these shows when you're in a group of older women. The dynamics can be weird, but who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows? Either way, I love Potomac. Potomac's one of my favorites. Sending love to Wendy and her family, wishing y'all nothing but the best. Karen, continue on that sobriety journey, girl. And you guys kick ass. Thanks for riding on this crazy journey with me this season. Season 10 was a lot of fun. I can't wait for season 11 with Karen. Anyway, be nice to each other. It's Tuesday. Talk on Tuesday, y'all. Stay nice, stay hydrated, stay warm. It's cold. And I'm going to go return these videotapes. Duh.